Good morning, everyone. This is Matthew on behalf of Arcoisis Sanctuary. I'm a little out of breath right now. I just finished a morning practice that I feel really proud of and happy, and I want to share with you guys. If there's one thing I've learned over the last 10 years of practicing yoga and meditation and mindfulness practices, it's the importance of a daily morning routine. And the reason why I know how important it is because there's been many times when I've dropped my daily routine and have not practiced. And, there's been at certain points, I've ran businesses and, had life happens. I just had a puppy and I couldn't even have 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, let alone, practice yoga or meditation. But when I do practice, I feel a lot more grounded and embodied. And when I don't, I find myself reaching for, things to stimulate me, and I find myself a little bit centered up here and a little bit more in my head. And so this morning I woke up naturally at about 6 in the morning with the sunrise out here. Check it out, it's so beautiful. And it's even more beautiful at 6 in the morning. And I just decided that I'm gonna meditate for an hour this morning. And what I do when I meditate is, especially for an hour, is I'll just find a comfortable seat. I'll use some props to help raise my hips over my knees that allows my knees to fall down so they're not like sitting crisscross. My knees are up in the air a little bit, so it's a little bit difficult to stay comfortable for long periods of time. So I use lots of props. And I sat for an hour and I did some breathwork practices that I know about from the last 10 years of doing yoga, a little bit of rebirthing breath, but not a lot. And so I do a little breath work for maybe 5 minutes, and then I do some breath retention, and then I feel the energy circulating throughout my body as I hold my breath. Like if you just do some quick breaths like if you do like 10 of those and then you hold, just hold your breath for a minute or so and just exhale. You might get a little lightheaded, and that's okay as long as you don't go too much. You'll feel the energy go through your body, and this is a beautiful way for me to allow myself to feel somatically all of my body rather than just my thoughts. And so I like to cultivate the feeling of energy circulating through my body using the breath and using breath techniques that I've learned throughout the years. And then I ride that wave. You kind of get a little high, and then I feel, and I try to rest in the sensation of the feeling when I sit as long as possible. And then I just relax and sit, and sometimes I'll go on little thought, daydream stuff, and that's okay. And I try not to resist anything. And, if I do catch myself like, oh, you're in a loop right now, then I'll either do some breath work or go back to the practice. So the hour actually went by very quickly, which I was quite surprised when my timer rang. And how I time the meditation is I use my clock timer on my phone. And I always keep my phone on silent, but the clock timer still beeps when the time's up, and it makes a nice, beautiful sound and makes you feel good about yourself. I'm really spotty on meditation. I was in a hardcore meditation program for probably a good year, and I've practiced it on and on, but I have not been able to keep honestly, a steady practice in meditation. So I feel really good about being able to sit for an hour. And so that's that. The second thing I want to share with you guys, which is I have been on it very, very much the last few days, is I wake up and the first thing I do is I make a smoothie. Now I just watered this down because I had an intense workout after my meditation. But this is really good. I don't eat anything first thing in the morning, but I do have a smoothie. And what I put in my smoothie is a banana, and I've got some green powders. One of them is the Garden of Eden or Garden of Life. It's a cacao juice raw greens. I use Vitamineral Green, Vitamineral Earth, Pure Ketone Energy, which is some MCT oil, which is a multi-chain triglycerides, which is some other great stuff that is like some essential fats that help you stay nourished throughout the day. I use a little bit of matcha because I like a little bit of caffeine. I was addicted to coffee, and I thankfully I'm no longer addicted to coffee, even though I live in a coffee farm in Guatemala. And what else did I put in there? I put some, sometimes I'll put a little oats in there if I feel a little hungry, but I think that's about it. Oh, and I put a little coconut oil in there just to make it creamy, and it's really good. And so I've been on that every single day, and I'm really grateful. That's been my most consistent practice. And the third thing I want to share with you is, so after that, I came into the shala here. Beautiful. It's still, we're doing a little rain protection, so the place is a little, you know, we're in construction here at ArcOasis right now. So yeah, this exercise I do is called HIIT. It's high intensity interval training, and I just worked out my chest, yeah, and my abs. Man, I'm actually, this is pretty good shape. I have not been working out, and this is a beautiful thing that I discovered around New Year's, you know, classic New Year's Day. I was like, oh, I'm going to start some sort of workout program for the New Year's, and I downloaded this app, which I want to share with you. It's called Adidas Runtastic Results HIIT, and it's HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. It's weightless. You can do it anywhere. You can do it at the airport, and it's an app that customizes your body type. You do a fitness test, and it's like, you know, 25 minutes, and you know, who doesn't have 25 minutes really? And it'll kick your butt, and it'll keep going, and it's been super good, and I want to start practicing more because I want to just get in peak physical performance. Like, I realized, you know, over the last 7 years, you know, I started a business that grew pretty large, Rainbow Cloud Kombucha, and, you know, about partially way through that, I was deep in my yoga practice, and halfway through, I was like drinking coffee, and there was no practice and no meditation, and, you know, then 4 years ago, I came down to Lake Atitlan, and 2 years ago, I started building this sanctuary, and, you know, I had the company Rainbow Cloud Kombucha in the United States, and then I had this, and, you know, it's really easy for life, you know, and I just had a puppy, and I get it. Like, if you guys have kids, like, I understand how difficult it is to carve out, you know, 5 minutes for yourself. You know, I'm sure if you got a newborn or a new puppy, but, you know, once things stabilize, you can take an hour of your day, and honestly, I believe that if you take an hour of your day and to make that for yourself, for your practice, and to get into your body, the rest of your day is going to be 10 times easier because you're going to feel good. And feeling good is what it's all about, right? It's like everything that we want in this life, we really just want to feel good, and we associate the things that we want in this life with the feeling that we feel like it's going to make us feel, you know, like. And it's not that these things don't make us feel good, but we can still feel good now. And man, I'm just getting downloads of so much more things I want to share with you all. But this video is long enough. Again, my name's Matthew. On behalf of ArcOasis Sanctuary, thanks for listening, and please like and share. Love you, and have a great day.